Hey guys, it's Paul here with Premier1 Hauling Junk Removal. So I've been wanting to tell my story about how I got started in junk removal. So I initially started junk removal in 2019 in Maryland. That's where I'm from, Maryland. The way I got started was I was working for the post office. I was driving a truck. I was a tractor trailer operator for the post office. I had a lot of downtime, so I had a lot of opportunity to think, to get my mind right. I was like, basically, do I want to, work for someone for the rest of my life, or do I want to start my own business where I can create or have freedom, not having to ask someone permission to be able to take a vacation or, important dates that, things that I want to do, it's just more freedom. So I just wanted to create freedom for myself. And a lot of researching when I had my downtime, YouTube, university, I was trying to think of what kind of businesses I can start, low startup costs. And I came across a channel. It was Sonoma Strong Hauling, Matt, Vic, and JoJo. They do junk removal. So after following them for some time, I'm like, man, this is a good idea. I might, try to start something like this. The reason, like I said, was a low startup cost business and high profit. So I'm like, wow, okay. So I'm doing researching, watching different channels about junk removal. And like I said, I had a lot of downtime and to research. So after some time, I'm like, okay, you know what? That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start a junk removal business. So I'm researching, trying to figure out what do I have to do to start it, what do I need. So to make a long story short, I did my research and I started a junk removal business. And I registered my business and everything. I went through the, all the legal things that you have to do. Got my LLC and everything, business account. Like I said, then I went and bought a box truck. Had my box truck wrapped and everything, and start, like I said, continue to watch YouTube videos on how to market and how to get business. So I started posting on Craigslist. I started putting ads on Yelp. I started getting yard signs, putting yard signs everywhere to try to get business. I did a little of everything. I did door hangers. Every time I would get a customer, I would hang door hangers to the next door neighbor or across the street before I left. What else did I do? I did Facebook ads. I did, after I saved up enough money, I started doing Google ads. That's really what took off my business. Google ads is well worth it if you have the funds to do it. But I started doing Google ads and the business started taking off. So like I said, I started in 2019. 2021 is when my family and I moved to Charlotte, North Carolina. So I'm like, okay, I feel like, it's a better opportunity for my family. So I'm like, okay, I started a junk removal business successfully in Maryland. So why can't I do it in North Carolina? So we moved to Charlotte, September of 2021. And I started trying to do the junk removal thing. Try to get up and running the same way I did in Maryland. But it was a totally different market. I tried to do the same thing that I did, minus the Google ads. But it wasn't working the way I wanted to work. So it was like really slow. I wasn't hardly getting any customers, so I'm getting frustrated. My mind is playing with him like, I can't, I probably won't be able to do it. So I'm getting in my own mind. And that was, it was tough. I mean, I was getting in my own mind. I was like, man, I'm not gonna be able to do it. So I end up using my truck for something totally different. I used it for on-demand deliveries. So I use my box truck to basically make deliveries to Lowe's. From Lowe's, picking up things from Lowe's and delivering them to customers' house. Sherwin-Williams. It's an app called GoShare. I signed up for GoShare in 2021. I was making good money. It was times where I was making a few times I was making like $1,000 in 4 hours. So I'm like, wow, this is good. I don't even need to continue with junk removal. I'm making $1,000 in 3 or 4 hours. Who wouldn't keep doing this? It was, I averaged probably about $450, $465 a day. And that wasn't even working the whole day. So I'm thinking, oh man, this money is real good. I don't even need to do anything else. Little I know, probably about a year and a half, almost 2 years later, GoShare, it just took a turn. The rates went down big time. The rates dropped big time. I was making $225 a minimum. It didn't matter if I went 1 mile, 10 miles, or 15 miles. That's the minimum. I was making $225. Some loads were like $265, and it didn't matter if I was driving 1 mile, 10 miles. So those rates went down from that to $185. And like I said, I was just doing those, a majority of Sherwin-Williams. It went from $225 to $185 to $115 to $85. So I was like, oh no, I was making $225. So I quickly had to pivot. It put me in a little bind, because I'm used to making this type of money. I'm like making $225 for a load, and that could be, like I said, an hour or less. So now I'm making $85 for a load. So, and that's not even, and we, everything slowed up. I was barely getting a load a day. So I'm like, man, this isn't sustainable. I gotta do something else. So I quickly, after kind of going through my savings and spending a lot of money, and I couldn't keep up. I couldn't do it. I wasn't making enough money, so I quickly maneuvered and went on different apps. I signed up for a roadside rescue app called Allstate Rescue. That's what it was. And I started doing, rescues and trying to make it work. I was doing DoorDash, which you don't make hardly any money. I was on Roadie. I did what else I do? One Rail. I signed up for One Rail. Curry. And there's one more, I can't think of it. Maybe it'll come back to me. But it's pretty much picking up cars and delivering them. Or it can be any vehicle and delivering vehicles. So I did that, and I got to the point where I needed the money so bad I was about to sell my box truck. I had my truck, I actually listed it, and it wasn't selling. I'm like, why isn't my box truck selling? I listed it for like $8,500, and then I knocked it down from there to like $65. And no one was, buying it. So I'm like, God, what's going on? I'm praying and like, what's going on? So fast forward. Sorry about that, guys. My phone went out. But yeah, I was listening to God. I was praying, and people were telling me, why don't you just get back into junk removal? And I'm like, you know what? I think I'm gonna start my junk removal back. So that's what I did. I took a leap of faith. I prayed about it, and that's the reason why my truck didn't sell. So, like I said, that's the reason for everything. So I got back into junk removal. When was it? Officially, November of last year. So what? December, January, February, March. So about 4 or 5 months ago now. And I'm starting to market better. My plan, I have goals, 6 figures in this first year, and that's what I'm going to do, for sure. So I plan on, taking this business, and it's going to take off. So I'm happy about that, and I want to share my knowledge, everything that I've learned from the junk removal business, and pass it on to other people that's interested in business. What I'm gonna do, I have plans to take this business and leverage it for another business or invest in something else. That's what people get caught up on. Just because you start a business, that doesn't mean that you have to stay in that business. You can use this business as a stepping stone. Come across all kinds of things and resell them, donate them, resell them. So it's almost like a two business in one. I'm gonna start posting on a regular basis now. I was doing YouTube shorts, so now I'm focused on my long form. So I feel like I have a lot of knowledge that I want to pass along to others, you know, that's interested in this business, or, you know, any other business too, you know. So I feel like I learned a lot as far as, you know, getting the business started and pretty much the networking part, the marketing part, and how to grow the business. Like I said, this first year, my goal is 6 figures and beyond. So yeah, I'm happy about that, and let's get this thing going. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below, and I'll be glad to help to answer whatever I can answer for you all. Till next time, we are out. Peace.